Boy, which is great.
Nice.
There we go.
Love it. Every time. I love it.
It's more ridiculous and awesome at the same time.
Yeah. I love that we go into hyperspace.
Yeah, and then it starts.
Hell yes.
Let us know where you're watching from. We've had
Yes.
one message already here from Paul. First time catching it live. Glad to have you here, Paul,
Nice.
from Illinois. I've got to post the link in the server as well. Today we've got some interesting stuff to talk about because there's been like 1,000 updates from Amazon.
Yeah.
First time.
At least
It's the
3
first
that I
time
know. And the survey.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
curious what everyone put into the survey.
Yeah.
So we'll chat about that as well.
I said, put my designs on the front page, please. No.
Yeah, really, right? Like,
So Juna, you said before we started, there's been 6 announcements so far this year.
Yeah. Crazy, right? Yeah. 3 in the last 2 weeks, like you said, but or 2 or 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
6 altogether. Yeah.
So basically 3 in the space of 2 weeks, and the other 3 in the space of 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's like they've been very radio silent, and now they're like, it's almost like someone new started a version. They're like, we need to talk to them more.
Yeah. Oh, we need to get things moving. Well, typically Amazon's kind of slow to change, right? Hey, someone from Utah. Oh, that's me.
Mexico, Nigeria, we've got Pakistan,
Nice.
very international live
Yes.
stream, Sweden.
Nice. Good flag.
Yeah, that's you, Andreas.
Yeah.
That's me.
UK.
Okay,
Nice.
welcome.
Oh, Philippines.
someone from Utah with a rubber band ball also.
No way. Come on.
What?
Oh, wait, that's me.
Welcome to the stream.
Okay. Nice.
So in case you haven't heard, we had an Amazon merch survey,
Yep.
which was only 5 days ago.
I know. It seems like
I'm reading
2
that
weeks
right.
ago, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
only been 5 days.
And in the past 24 hours, we've had 2 updates.
Mm-hmm.
The most important one being that we're getting higher royalties,
Nice.
which is I was sure I read that
Yeah.
went the first time I read it. I
Yeah,
went through it a couple of times. I was like, wait,
Really?
does that make sense?
I was so happy because that's when they did the survey. That's literally what I put in there. Like, if
Yeah.
there's any way that our royalties shouldn't be compromised, then I'll be so happy, and then we would work really well. Or if there's a compromise between us and like Amazon, and we can like share the cost of it, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that
I don't know if you guys, how long you've all been on Amazon merch, but they've done this before. So what they'll do is they'll reduce the customer facing price. So it's a sale to the customer, but they don't kill our royalties, which they did. It's got to be about 3 years ago. I think the last time they did it though. But yeah, I'm all for that. Like if you want to give the customer a better deal and not sacrifice my bottom line.
Yeah.
You know,
They can take the hit.
Well, I'm curious if we can figure it out on this live, because have you guys checked your sales today and seen any discounted items sell?
Oh, I did not check for that. I got a few sales, but
Because
Let's
I've
see.
got some sales and the royalties are strange, like different than they usually are. So I checked. I basically checked it, and I can see a bit of a pattern. I'm just curious if everyone else can see it.
let's see. Is this a sale?
I got one today that looks a bit weird.
Yeah, I think they're not taking out as much as what, because they used to Because I got one that's selling at $16.99 when I usually have it at $19.99. And when that happened before, I got like a $2 royalty, but now I'm getting like a $3. So I think they're not taking out as much as they did. We still, I mean, not making the $4 or $5, but it's better than making $2. So.
I have one that sold 11 yesterday for $40, including a return, so a little over
Nice.
4.5. But today I've sold 6 for $11.34, so it's definitely discounted.
Dude, 40. Are you marking your 40s?
We welcome to the stage Cody.
Woo!
Thanks, guys. Thanks for that. Thanks for the cheer and the chants. I know I was deeply missed by you all. Appreciate you guys. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, no worries.
That's fine. I'm sure you've been busy. We're just talking about Amazon merch updates at the moment, but I'm sure we can also chat a little bit about Everbee store, which I know is what you've been working on a lot. So that should be fun. So to get back what we were talking about, I think for me it's also mostly shirts that are $16.99, and they're giving me a $3.17 royalty.
Right.
Typically, if you look at the create page, that'll be a $2.67 royalty.
That's right.
So it's 50 cents different.
And I got I usually price mine at like $22.99, and one that was priced at that is now like $19.50, and I earned basically $5.07 on that.
Nice.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Higher royalties.
That's higher than normal for it's like 480, 489 or something, right? At 20.
Yeah, it should be something with 4. Yeah. So like it seems like a 50 cent or somewhere around there difference, right?
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. I love
Unfortunately, my one listing out of the 18 unique sold today, one listing that has sold 6 times itself is not a higher royalty at all. So it's discounted from $19 to 18 or 18 to 17, and only $11.34 for 6 of them.
Wow.
So that
for
sucks.
6.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get the higher royalty on that one.
But
nothing else is discounted though. Everything else is still selling for the $4.89 or whatever.
Nice. I would love to get over $5 per sale. I know that's wishful thinking, but that would be awesome on anything.
How was your guys' June? Speaking of which, like the Father's Day sales were double last year. It feels like.
Really, I didn't do well.
Oh,
I mean, I had a good couple of weeks for Father's Day.
Mine's been really up and down. Like I had really high days, and then right before Father's Day, it kind of tanked, and then it's picking up again. But
I don't know. What do we got? This month, just under $1,200 for $4,500 so far this month, or as of yesterday.
Oof, that's awesome.
So I'll take it.
I'm at 2,300 this month, but that's typically low. But
it's been a good month.
I'm very similar to you, Jay, so far.
Sorry, say again.
I'm very similar to you, Jay, so far.
Which is right now it's pretty much I'm on par right now with what I did in the entire month of May right now, 4,800. I'm almost there, right?
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
I think I asked this last time. Oh, I was curious, like, what's the opportunity you think in Amazon merch? Like, what's like the top? Is there like $1 million sellers on Amazon merch, or is like what's the cap? What do you guys see in your world?
There's some people that run ads. Yeah. Go ahead.
There's a couple of Facebook groups that I'm in that are merch related. I think most of us are probably in them that are on merch anyway. And like you'll see around this time of year when it starts to just before Q4, like when we're coming out of the second half of the year into Q3, you'll see some people that are doing like, $15K a month in just royalties, and they ramp up to $30,000 to $50,000 a day. Some are doing like $1,500 a day in royalties at profit, right? Like steadily. Myself, I had 2 Decembers in a row of almost 19,000 in just royalties. But there's other sellers with a lot more designs. And I have a small catalog, like 1,500, 1,600 by merch standards. It's tiny. But there's sellers out there that are doing 30K a month in profit all year. And then they double and triple that in Q4. I've seen some pretty crazy numbers. And I think it's just, if you've got an account, respect it, treat it with the love and attention it deserves in terms of not, getting yourself booted or anything stupid. Because it is a gold mine. It is Amazon at the end of the day. And it's the closest thing to, realistically speaking, it's the closest thing to passive income I've ever kind of had a hand at looking at. Because we don't do anything other than, you list it and then that's kind of it, right?
That's one day, somebody's 1 day total.
That's insanity. My God.
Yeah, June 11th. Amazing. That's a Father's Day peak over there, it looks like. Whose is that?
Yep. This was just shared in my server.
Yeah.
It was from the Merch Momentum Discord group.
Yeah, that's his royalties 1 day. Like, it's ridiculous, right? So if you can get in, amazing. But the caveat is that, there's no rhyme or reason. At least I feel like there is somewhat of a rhyme and reason, but they don't come out and tell us. So anyone that says, that they know how to get in is kind of lying. Really. They don't tell us, unfortunately. And it's very, feels exclusive now more so than it ever did.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when the first time that you saw numbers like that? Like, it was before. I remember specifically. Before I was in real estate investment business, and that was like my first entrepreneurial thing. And then I remember talking to my friend who was an Amazon FBA seller, and I'm just like, dude, what's the opportunity? I just wanted to understand the opportunity. What was possible? The same question I just asked you guys. And he literally just shared his screen, like just like a share screen. And his Amazon account said like $20,000, and it was today's sales and revenue, of course. And I remember just being like, "What? that is possible." And as soon as I understood that, I started to open my mind up to the potential and the opportunity of just e-commerce in general, which had a huge impact. So I think it's cool to like show screenshots like that, Phil, and you guys' server, and it's helpful.
Yeah, like. In merch land, we talk about royalties because that's the big numbers that everyone talks about. But like, if you look at my 4,500 right now in royalties for merch, my revenue is 22.2K, right, for the month. And we're only halfway through June. Like, it's kind of hard to beat from, especially when you have that passivity, right? Like, we're not hustling hard on merch, or at least I'm not. It's a pretty special place to be. It's kind of nuts too, because I feel like the opportunity is just limitless anywhere now. I mean, like we mentioned you and Everbee shop. It's just like, if you can, prove that you have sellers on Etsy and then bring them in for your own standalone now with like literally like 4 clicks, right? And then, you're kind of bringing in everything. And I'm trying to explain to people that, what about the variation? Nope, it does it. What about this and that? All the headaches that we had. You have to download your CSV and upload. No, it pulls your listings in, it pulls the reviews in, it pulls everything in. My only advice on that end before, flipping over was just, curate your catalog and make sure that you got a really good portfolio. And then I think you're going to be, it's almost idiot proof, right? Which I guess was the whole goal. But like, if you can't get into Amazon merch, and we see a lot of people spinning their wheels complaining like, well, I can't get in. Well, there's like 1,000,001 other means to make money with the designs that you can still use on merch if and when you get, accepted, right? I don't know. Yeah, it's a special time to be alive. It's kind of nuts. Like, you talk about the first time you see dollars like that. This is an Amazon merch story, but for me, it was the first time we ran an Etsy challenge. It was a 30-day Etsy challenge, myself and 3 others. This is going back like 6 years now, just before COVID. And we hit 6K at pre-launch, right? Or six figures, sorry. Just over $100,000 and, split 4 ways. And I didn't even fathom that was realistic money that you could make from, helping people to learn how to make money at the same time, right? It was just like, it blew my mind, and it all became, offshoots of print on demand. I've been doing it for 12 or 13 years now. And it's like, it's not just print on demand anymore. It's like being able to push this out and let everybody remove all the barriers so everybody can access this stuff, because everybody deserves a shot to make real money. Everybody deserves a shot to be outside of their corporate crappiness. You know what I mean? Anyway, I could go on for days on this. I don't want to hijack the whole show.
It's Carla proof.
Carla proof.
She'll tell you she's got scrambled egg brain over there.
So for anyone, I mean, I think probably a lot of people watching maybe don't know what Everbee Store is. Like, how would you describe it, Cody? Because it's very new. People don't really know. You're still muted, by the way.
I guess maybe I'll share screen. Can I share screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make it simple for anyone that doesn't.
I love the backdrop still.
If anyone is not familiar with Everbee Store yet, the idea is that you'll create your store in minutes. The problem that we were seeing was that we have almost 1 million sellers, right, that use Everbee, and they were selling on Etsy and Amazon and things like this. But eventually they get to the point where it's like, oh, I want to own my own platform. I want to own my own sales process. I want to own my own customer. I want to be able to communicate to my customer. I want to be able to like run paid ads and all this stuff. They want more control. And we were referring them over to like Shopify and to like Wix and Squarespace, majority Shopify. And then they would come back to us like weeks later and just like they gave up on their Shopify account. And it mostly was just due to like simple things that just, they were promised to be simple, but it was actually really challenging. For example, moving over their Etsy listings, if they have 1,000 listings, it's almost impossible without a freelancer. Setting up your themes and like setting up everything, you need like a Shopify developer. It's really common nowadays. And we just wanted to solve all of this stuff. So Everbee Store is the fastest and the smartest way for creators, people like us, everyone listening to this, to sell online. And it's completely AI powered literally from the base level. The idea is that your store is ready in minutes and it's built for us. Simplicity is the name of the game. And it's for print on demand sellers, specifically heavy integration with Printify. For handmade sellers, we have a shipping integration. Like you can literally sell handmade soap from your kitchen kind of thing. Digital product sellers who SVGs, templates, Canva templates, things like this, PNGs. And then someone wants to turn their site into a subscription site to like get recurring revenue, certainly can be that. And then of course, for content creators and influencers trying to build their merch brand and sell a mixture of all these things. The main thing before I kind of pause my spiel here is that we believe that like creators need more flexibility. Like the modern day creators don't just sell print on demand. They don't just sell handmade. They don't just sell digital. They don't sell just subscription. They sell a mixture of all of these things. That's the creator. And so the platform that we built is you can sell a digital product, also your print on demand product. Oh, also you want to sell something that's physical, like you made in your kitchen. Cool, you can do that too, like all from the same site. So that's pretty much it. We're learning from feedback that we get from the community. We're shipping features almost every 2 days. It seems like we're doing a release, and which is insane. We have a full-time team on this. Like just to be transparent, like 32 people full-time working on Everbee Store. It's been building it for the past 1.5 years. So like we're all in on it, and we've been all in on it. So the future belongs to us creators, I think, not necessarily big brands and big brands necessarily. It belongs to us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We've got a few questions actually about it here. The first one being, when will it be available in the EU? By Stacy.
It's a great question, Stacy. Thank you for that. We're only available in the US at this exact moment. We're literally prioritizing. We're stack ranking like where we want to go next. EU is certainly high up on that list. I imagine it's probably going to go like EU, UK, kind of the standard ones, New Zealand and Australia kind of first, primarily because we use Stripe as our main payment integration platform right now. And they make that pretty easy to do, but we have certainly other ones on the list. So if you have a specific region that you're from and you want us to like make sure we look at it, let us know. You just have to, like squeaky wheel will kind of get the worm. I think it'll push us to like make sure that we're thinking about a certain region that we're not thinking about yet.
And is it a marketplace, a new marketplace?
Great question. It's not a marketplace. the idea is that this is going to be your platform. So what we're talking about, Amazon merch and then selling on Etsy, is beautiful. And we're not saying this isn't a replacement of those things. It is your own store. So you can compare it to like your Shopify store. We're a direct competitor to Shopify, just to be very clear. I don't want to be compared to Shopify in the future, of course, but like right now it's the way it is. And so it is your platform. That means they're going to be your customers, but that does also mean that you're going to be responsible for driving your own traffic. And it also means that you'll probably be responsible for remitting sales tax and things like that when you hit certain thresholds in your regions. So those are some of the downsides with owning your own platform and selling off of a marketplace. But the trade-off is that you have full control over your business. You can't be shut down in a second. You can sell what you want, when you want, and however you want. That's the benefits, but the downsides are those things too.
I'm curious as well, because you can import your Etsy shop into, or just get all of your listings imported into your own website with Everbee store. Do you have plans of doing that with something like Amazon merch? Because I think that'd be huge if like more people are able to transfer their products over more quickly.
We talked about it, and I know it came from you guys first. I'm curious, like how strong that need or want is. I know Phil, like you mentioned it. I know Jay, you mentioned it. We haven't got a lot of those messages from the community yet, from a lot of our users. So I feel like if there was like maybe we should set up like a voting system to where it's like, do a lot of people want this? Then we can actually go and do that thing. Curious for you, Phil, could you actually download your like a CSV of all your designs from Amazon merch?
With third-party tools, I think you can, like a Productor, I think was able to. I'm sure Nemo can get Snap to do it if he can't yet.
There is kind of backdoor ways. Amazon doesn't offer it front end, but
well, if they're giving it third-party tools, that means we have access to that. So it's a matter of just priority. So yeah, if we got like a strong pool from other people, they're just like, hey, I really need this or want this, then we would make that happen for sure. I feel like if one person or two people, because we're getting requests from so many people right now, we're really trying to be like, okay, where do we serve like 80% of our people? So if 80% of them are from Amazon merch, then all in. But if it's only like a couple, I'm like, it'll just naturally float a little bit less to the backlog.
Makes sense. I'm just curious. Keep bringing your Everbee questions whilst we've got Cody on, and we also had a super chat from Ed. Thank you very much for submitting that. And he's asking, can you guys reply to me? Oh no,
Another one.
Here we go. There we go. For $5, Ed. My designs are okay, but I struggle with niche research. Any advice? Curious.
Man, lots.
Yeah. I think it also depends if you're going, I put this in the chat, but I think it depends if you're going for trends or if you're going for evergreen stuff. Are you going for holiday things? Are you going for the topic that you know the most about and want to see what that, like, there's lots of different ways and lots of different apps that can help you with.
Is Ed using, he's primarily, Ed, are you selling on Amazon merch? Is that kind of like your primary?
I'm guessing he's talking about Amazon merch. So there's like Pretty Merch and Merch Informer and looking at BSRs and lots of.
Yeah, I do it a little bit different. I do my niche research for Amazon on Etsy, and I think it's more about, figuring out a niche that if you're stuck, right, don't try to force it. Think of things that you know more about than anyone else in a room if there's 10 people. Just because you're the only one who knows about that topic doesn't mean that there's not 100,000 other people out there that might buy a T-shirt with that funny phrase, to that effect on it. I think it should be something that you can easily break down to a 5-year-old and a 75-year-old, right? Something that you know enough about that you can explain it to somebody who has no idea what that niche is. That will allow you to know like the idioms, the like I use one, the certain lingo, right? I use one all the time. It's tight lines. If you're into the fishing niche, you say tight lines. You don't say good luck. Well, people say good luck, but they also say tight lines because the idea is that if your line is tight or taut, then there's probably a fish on the end, right? So that's kind of like, or like the people who are in performing arts, they say break a leg. Those are the kinds of things that I think if you understand the niche well enough, you'll be able to take those things and put them in a way that resonates with a very specific, niche or target audience. And then that's when I would, add maybe some trending aesthetics or something into something that is an evergreen niche. But I would probably start with things, if you're stuck, right? If you don't know how to fully kind of do a deep dive into some of the niches where you get to a point that you can, fill the gaps in the marketplace, so to speak, then I would definitely, look at things, at our age, we all have, we've all studied different things. We are all better at certain things. We all have some kind of passions or hobbies that we are better at than other people or know more about. You don't necessarily have to have been the best at it, but you know more than somebody about something. I think that's the fastest and easiest way if you're stuck.
Okay, maybe you could share my screen there, Phil, and because I noticed that Ed is a musician.
Yep.
You could use lots of different tools for this, like everyone mentioned. Everbee, I'm using Everbee because that's my tool, of course. Mm-hmm. But there's lots of other options out there. So, for example, if you're just stuck and using the evergreen type of stuff that Jay was mentioning, and you said you're a musician, what can you not shut up about? Kind of like Carla mentioned. Maybe you're already doing the basic stuff of this, but like for sure you should be just, if you're stuck and kind of need inspiration, just type in music shirts and you can just see like what is selling and what is not. Mm-hmm. And I just typed in music shirt. There's this analyzed 350,000 listings across Etsy. If they're selling here, they're going to sell on Amazon merch, likely. At least there's going to be a segment of that, maybe even more because Amazon has higher demand. You can play with this. Like you could type in music funny and just see 93,000 listings pulled up. And we're seeing stuff, right? And so you're seeing the monthly revenue over here, the total sales, the monthly sales. Like these things are crushing. 160 monthly sales, 78 just for one listing. I Miss You Baby t-shirt, 2,500. I mean, you only need a couple of these listings to hit to really change your entire life, which is the coolest part about e-commerce. Like you don't need 100 listings to sell well. You just need like one listing to completely take off and your life changes. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me many times. I'm sure you guys can attest to that, but I'll pause for there.
That's awesome. This is so powerful, that Everbee.
And like for me at least, what I would say, if the issue itself is the niche research, if you can just ask yourself one question to simplify everything, and that's what type of events and like milestones happen every single day that people generally want to celebrate and buy stuff for. This could be for like one big that's kind of overlooked. One big niche that's really kind of overlooked for a lot of people. Let's not talk too much about. Is like, for instance, that people get new pets or people's pets actually pass away. So that's a big one. You also have like the wedding and bachelorette niche, which everyone talks about, but basically stuff where people want to, like, what events and milestones happen every single day that people generally want to buy gifts and stuff for. There's so many of those, but the key thing is that they have to happen every single day. And a big one of those is like pets passing away or new pets coming along, for instance. But if you ask the right questions, you can get the right answers. If you don't have the right questions, you can't actually get the right answer.
What's the example?
I love that you said that, Andreas. I did some deep research with various AI tools, and pet memorials was the #1 hottest selling for the second half of 24 and predicted for 25 and still firing. So yeah, it's, you can't beat or argue tugging at people's heartstrings, right? Because pets are passing away, and I almost argue that it's, as morbid as it sounds, to capitalize on that. I mean, that's what we're here for, is to make money at the end of the day, right? But also to provide something that can console somebody in a way that, we've lost pets before, and somebody bought us a candle with a picture of my dog on it. I mean, my God, like we almost broke down again. You know what I mean? It was the perfect gift. It was a sunset on a lavender candle. It was beautiful, but that's the kind of thing. Like, and then money goes out the window, so you can, you're buying, to Andreas's point, that something for somebody that is yes, it happens all the time, but it's also doesn't lose its significance emotionally, right? So people will not care as much about how much they're paying or spending on that when they know it's that perfect gift for that somebody.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For you guys, Andreas and Jay, for relating it back to Ed, that he likes music, and if you mix his music and his interest, passion with the milestone type of stuff. Like, what is something that if we can like actually do this real time and kind of help him? Like, I threw in probably his POD too, right? He's POD for sure. He's here, so he probably shirts. So can you like type in music?
Music birthday.
I'm thinking more like is music very well, but I'm thinking like one thing that's coming up very soon. That's really like if you put stuff up now, you will get sales if the designs match the expectations, and that's music teachers. That will be one big thing for back to school that's coming up in August, because in July that's where the peak is, like mid to end of July to the very beginning of August. So music teacher stuff would be really good, because again, people want to buy. This is also applicable to teacher appreciation month, but for back to school, if someone has a great teacher, I was with my girlfriend's cousin's small children into their like small graduation, and they picked some flowers for the teacher that they really loved, because they wanted to gift something, because that teacher was special and someone that really meant something to them. And it's the same thing for if they're older and they can buy stuff for the teachers. So giving a gift to someone that they really appreciate, I think that can be really good. So again, one thing that really can stand out at the moment that can be really applicable to right now, where we are now, in the mid to end of July, mid to end of June, where we are right now, is music teacher stuff.
Yeah, I think that mashup kind of thing really works too. Like, you take music and you add it with teachers, or you take music and mash it up with cats or raccoons or holidays or things like that. That can be really powerful, especially things coming up or things that people already like. Like, look at that, the cat playing a guitar. Those kinds of things are huge on Amazon right now.
That's so crazy. Yeah, you could literally say like music dog on shirts. Okay, a little less than cat, but music pet.
Music pet, yeah. I see a lot of cats playing guitars, and a lot of Bigfoot carrying a guitar, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Professor Milo with glasses.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think what's important as well is not just to copy the stuff that you see selling well, but use it as inspiration to try and come up with unique ideas, because you're always starting the race from like a mile behind if you're just doing what everyone else is doing. Exactly. So yes, these tools help you find what's selling, but think about why is it selling and how can I touch the same heartstrings.
Yeah.
Let's look at the guitar niche on Amazon.
Yeah, there's so many generic ideas out there. I actually did one where I took inspiration of a guitar. It's like, it's not hoarding if it's guitars, and it was electric guitars, right? And then then you break down the ideal customer. It's a video I did that we're doing Etsy research for Amazon, and I turned it into a hockey shirt, and it hockey design based on the inspiration there. So not musically related anymore, but it's already sold like 6 or 7 times in the last like 2 weeks or whatever. So it's on its way up, right? But it's filling the gaps in the marketplace. It didn't exist on Etsy. It didn't exist on Amazon. I'm not chasing BSRs because there are no BSRs, because it didn't exist. But, it's not hoarding if it's guitars, looking at the ideal customer. So who is buying that, right? Or who's the end recipient? It's somebody who at least makes probably, I would argue 40 plus, give or take, or they're at least making X amount of dollars to be able to afford to have multiple electric guitars, because they're not cheap, right? So there's other things, and it's like, it was a white on black design, so it looked more like the rocker style based on the guitars that were on the shirt, but also that it was a black shirt with just a monochromatic design. So now it's somebody who is probably older, has significant income, but also likes to wear that to, the hard rock or heavy metal shows. So not old enough that it's too loud or, too cumbersome for them to go to a louder show. So I would probably cap it at like maybe 55. So now you're looking at a 40 to 55-year-old ideal customer. That's who you're designing for now. And then you take that over and apply it to whatever niche you're looking at. And it's, now you've eliminated all the noise, because you have a perfect example of who you're designing for, right? It's all those little elements you glean just from one design, right? Like if you just break it, dissect it, and then that's the recipe. Like I just took that same recipe, applied it to hockey sticks, because it was the middle of hockey season. The Leafs were in the playoffs still 2 or 3 weeks ago. and before they lost again, of course. But then, you know, nobody's got it on Etsy, and then nobody also had it on Amazon. So I put it on there, and yeah, it sold like I think on the end of the second day, it sold for the first time, and it's sold every other day since right now. So, I mean, and it's going to, you know, they're getting closer and closer together, right? But being first to market, also, you don't have to be, you know, the best looking piece of art out there either. It's just the first one there because nobody else has done it.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of print on demand, I think, is that whilst, you know, having a new idea isn't guaranteed to sell, like you will often think this is good and it flops, but it doesn't make a difference. Like you haven't spent anything to put that design out there. In most cases, it's free, or you pay a small listing fee on Etsy. There's like close to no upfront investment to test these ideas. So sure, a lot of them will flop, but I think once you do get an original design to do really well and resonate, that's when you create those strong regular sellers.
Yeah, and just to tie in the thing that we touched on earlier in the call about Everbee store, as an Etsy seller myself, who's like done everything basically on Etsy and having most of my pie there, being able to take the thing that you already know sells and just push it over to something else to just solidify a security that if something happens to your Etsy store, you can like just push the the Everbee store that you have with paid ads, and that will be your replacement income if anything happens to your Etsy shop. Because again, this is something that any Etsy seller has ever like thought about. Just the feeling that, okay, if you lose your Etsy shop, hi Chris, if you lose your Etsy shop, so if you lose your Etsy shop, you need to have some kind of backup, and it's always been a pain because you have to set up. There's no real way to set up a Shopify store. You kind of have to make it from scratch. So, and that's where the Everbee store comes in for any Etsy sellers. Having that solidified shop that you know is yours if anything happens makes it, at least to me, an invaluable thing in my head, at least.
Chris, how are you doing?
Living the dream. Sorry I'm late. I have like 20 minutes right now, so I figured I'd drop in and see how you guys are doing. And it's a conversation I can actually contribute to, not the normal marketplace stuff where I just go on mute.
You need a shirt that says "Living the Dream." By the way.
Yeah,
I know that either that or best day ever.
Yeah, put it in the background in neon lights on your wall there.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. Just the
everything
neon lights that flicker in the background. Gang's all here, Paul.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Almost the full council today. Nice.
Hey, can I share something kind of vulnerable with y'all while we're here? Since you mentioned living the dream, Chris, and since that's kind of topic, I had something that happened last week that has been a dream of mine for literally like maybe 6 years happen. And Chris, I think you're aware of it. We talked about it like last week in Austin. I've been preparing for this for like 4 months, and I remember watching this videos of people surprising their wife with their dream car.
Nice.
And I watched it like years and years ago, right? We've all seen these videos, right? It was like where they're blindfolded and there's like, she walks out and like, there's a big bow on this like beautiful car, whatever the dream car is. And so I wanted to recreate this. And I officially did that last week.
Ooh, congrats.
And
awesome.
Thank you.
Well done.
Huge congrats, man. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Appreciate
Did you
that.
film it?
Really cool.
Are you going to make one of those videos?
Yeah, you can be the inspiration to other people now.
I know. We did film it, but it was not for the purpose of that.
How did she react?
Exactly how I envisioned. Exactly
Nice.
how the dream was. Yeah, like totally blown away. My wife is very humble and modest, and she was unexpecting completely. And it was a really cool moment. So appreciate let me share that with you guys. If that inspires anyone here, it's certainly, if you're thinking that it could be a reality in the future, very likely it will be and it can be. So it was a cool moment.
It's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
And the cool thing is that normally, like, at least for me, when I started out, it was entirely moments like that initially sparked the interest in like going down this path of starting our own business. But then, at least for me, at some point along the way, when you just get into the day-to-day grind and you're just deep in the weeds, you can kind of lose sight of those things. And it can become very easy to, gut check ourselves almost and be like, what did I get into this for originally? Like, did I just want to sign up for 80 hours a week? Did that just seem fun for me? And then when you have moments like that, it's kind of like snap back to reality, like a lucid moment, like, oh yeah, this is what it's all about. And obviously, like, that's a awesome example, but it happens with a lot of like much smaller things in the day to day, like everything from, maybe your mom or, family member calls in the middle of the day. Normally you'd be, working at a day job or something, and you're able to take the phone call, or somebody in the family gets sick, unfortunately, and you're able to say, I'll be on the next flight. Like, I'll be right there. And if I was in a job, I wouldn't be able to do those things. So it's those little reminders that, this is what it's all about. And, it really keeps you motivated when you stay connected to it. Makes like the journey of like uninformed optimism, informed pessimism, that whole thing. When you keep that 10,000-foot view, it makes riding it out that much easier.
Just the idea of being able to help when my dad, just before he passed, he got really sick, but being able to, I'm not sacrificing my income. I'm not, my time isn't attached to the money. I can go help mom with whatever she needs to do, or just kind of sit there with dad while she can go do whatever she needs to do, or just take that mental break, right? When you're kind of taking care of somebody, just to be able to do that and know that I don't have to worry about, paying the electricity bill or something like that, right? Those are the incremental things for me back when. But then those things grow, right? And there's nothing more that I want now is to be able to kind of provide that for other people. Man, Cody, if you're looking for like a nephew or a cousin that you want to buy a vehicle for, I can be part of that. I'm not there. I'm not buying cars for anybody yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah. Have you guys seen those videos of like where they buy their really good friend of like a brand new house and stuff? Like, if you guys ever want to recreate one of those, I'm in the market.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I feel the same way as Jay there, because I think the main thing for me is just like my girlfriend's cat that we've had for like she's been with that cat since she was 9, and she's lived with me and her for like since like 2021. She passed away last year, but just being able to say, okay, whatever she needs, I'll just get that, because we don't have any kids, but we have had a small cat, and just being able to just be wherever I need to be in order to be like available for her when she needs me. And that will just go to every other extent too, when you have kids and when you're older and stuff like that. Just being able to have that time freedom that you can just do whatever you want whenever you want. And if something is actually needed of you, you can just assess the time accordingly and do whatever you need to do without having to ask anyone for permission about it. That's the main value.
Yeah, this one's really small, but when I was in 9 to 5 last year, my kids are adults and they would have days off in the middle of the week. And so they would go with my wife and do things while I'm working, and I would get the biggest FOMO. But now that I don't have to have a 9 to 5 and I can have the time freedom and everything, when they call and want to do something in the middle of the week, I'm like, yes, let's go. I can do that. So it's something really small, but it's really cool that you can, in the place that we're in, that we can do that and just, drop at a drop of a hat and do this.
Juna, you look like you're like 32 years old, dude.
Oh, really?
Sorry. Oh, yeah. I was surprised as well when I found out Juna's age. You do not look like your kids are adults.
So there's a setting on StreamYard where you can like do the advanced thing and make your face look younger. So I put it all the way as much as I could.
Juna's going to be designing t-shirts until he's 140.
You definitely don't look 67, man. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I know. I just came. No, I'm turning 55 this year though.
Jesus Christ!
Wow.
Yeah.
Juna, if you ever make a course on that, I will buy whatever the price is.
It's beef tallow. You have to have beef tallow and you put it all over your face.
By the way, you can buy it in the link below.
No.
Gosh.
Damn.
None, thanks.
Inspiring all around.
After 50, I'm. What do you? Oh, I mean 50 more years.
Yeah, you still look the same in 50 years.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll be here.
Yeah.
We'll still be doing this.
Now we understand why Juna's playing the long game. He's got his bees.
It's got 100 years longer than the rest of us.
Yeah,
I'd be playing the long game too.
My mom looks really young too. I think it's because we're Filipino. That's yeah.
It's a hack, huh?
It's a hack. Yeah.
How to become Filipino? Can we switch?
How do you become Filipino?
Is there
Lumpia. Lumpia is my favorite. Eat lots of lumpia.
There you go. It does help.
As an android.
I'm converted. I'm already AI.
Yeah. All of his content's been AI generated for the past 3 years.
Juna, you need to stop teaching about POD and just teach about this. Like teach about life hacking.
Yeah.
Or biohacking.
I'm actually curious, since we've got Chris on here as well now, who's a big Shopify guy, what he thinks. What do you think of Cody's new Everbee store? Are you going to be switching?
I think it's about damn time that print-on-demand sellers have more than just a tool that, like Shopify, I've been on it for years, and it's great for a lot of things. But the way that I put it is, speaking of Android, Shopify is kind of like an Android as Everbee store is to an iPhone. It's like Android, you have all this customization. It can be super powerful, but why is the iPhone so much more popular? It's because it has exactly what you need and nothing more. And there's so much value in that. And as I look at, where print on demand is going from my, estimates, 5 months down the road or 5 years down the road, I think the future is going to belong to people that are able to build real brands. And there's such a learning curve with Shopify that, we have took a 31-hour course to explain, how to just click all the buttons in the setup, and the fact that you're able to, with Everbee store, like if you're an existing Etsy seller, to go from all of your products being live on your Etsy shop and like all the same skills and the effort that you put into it, that in theory can translate over to a Shopify brand. But the theory versus the logistics of it, there's so much to be said there. And them lowering that learning curve down to the point that, it's eventually just a click of a button, you're up and selling. And then, you have just the exciting roadmap ahead of you of what it can feel like building your own brand. I think that's something like really powerful. And it's exciting that it's putting the capabilities of building a brand in the hands of everybody. And like a really cool thing is that right now it feels like a giant shift to jump from like any standalone marketplace to a Shopify brand. It's a like pretty big jump. And Everbee store, at least from talking with Cody and what they've already made, is in an effort to lower that barrier. So it can be, just a happy extension of your existing brand and not like a complete overhaul, relearn everything that you've already done in the business up until now. It can just be a really good progression. And it's basically making it, a no-brainer to have your own brand. The reason, the brainer part right now to not have your own brand is, the amount of time that it takes to create it. And with that being removed, and just, Shopify is built for everything from, Kylie Cosmetics to Gymshark to enterprise level companies. That is great, but it's not a tool that's built just for, the mom and pop shops that are trying to get their existing catalog up and launched. And that when you have a tool that's meant just that ignores 90% of the potential market to over deliver for the 10% that they really care about and that they want to provide value for, I think just really awesome things can happen. And it's also just the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I really love about what both of you guys are doing is that the customer because you are the customer, and you've talked to customers, and it's built for that. Like when you talk about Everbee store and you talk about Mystic, like exactly who you're serving, and you made a great point. So I think that's super powerful.
Yeah, I think that's well summarized. I think two of the biggest concerns for someone, like speaking from experience, someone wanted to start their own website is like, A, you need ads, and I don't know how ads work, and B, it's too difficult to set up, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just like, you upload your design to a t-shirt and then hit publish, you actually need to spend time setting up the website. And having done it with Shopify, it's not easy. There is a reason why Chris has a 30-hour course about it. So anything that makes at least that part of the equation easier is fantastic.
Yeah, and I see it as like Everbee store and Etsy and Amazon. Like, what are they really? It's just distribution for having really great products, and the distribution is only as powerful as our ability as it is accessible. And so in the future, like 6-12 months down the road, I really see a reality in which creators are able to become more marketplace agnostic, and they're able to just focus on the most important thing, which is creating designs that really resonates with their audience. And as things like Everbee store become more and more popular and more powerful, it's going to be less of a discussion around like, should we go here or there? Because there won't be that context switching cost, the learning curve, all of those things. That playing field is going to become leveled, and it's going to be, you know, one click of a button, it gets published to Etsy, Amazon, like every place that you would possibly want to be selling. Because like that's the same thing that we do with our brands. We start with, you know, Shopify for right now, building standalone brands. But then as soon as we have any kind of validation in the market, we also just throw them up on, you know, Etsy, and we don't make it a top priority, but it's just free distribution. And that equation doesn't really work going the other way because it's got the learning curve associated with Shopify.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well said. I didn't know you could share private comments. That's awesome.
I copy pasted. I realized I put it in the wrong part. But I appreciate that, Chris and Juna, and yeah, I appreciate like the idea that like the way that I think about Everbee store. It's not like we're some like we're incredibly smart people, an incredible team, and very, very dedicated. But it's interesting that we just would like, Chris, me and you are going to sit down right soon and literally just make a checklist of things that you need in order to make your customers and your people in your community, like their lives easier. And that's how you build great things. And I think that we just like, if you listen to your customers, and this applies to everyone here on this, you know, on this live stream, if you just pay attention to your customers and just get as close as possible with them, just solve their problems, because 99% of the competition is not doing that. And then you can kind of come up with super innovative things that just work for the market. And you look like a genius, but it's really not a genius thing. It's purely just caring the most about your customers. So anyway, I just wanted to share that out loud because I think it's made a big difference for us.
Yeah, definitely. And I just think that really goes hand into like design, just putting designs up that you want to design yourself versus just seeing what's out there, combining different best-selling elements into something new and adding stuff in new ways that people actually want. It's the same thing, if that makes sense.
Yep. People pay for solving their pains or their problems because that's, you know, they want to take care of it. Either it's a time pain or problem or something else. But
yeah, and that piece of advice, it's like one of the ones that I heard the most starting out, and I was always like, okay, yeah, I got to solve a problem. Like, I'm selling t-shirts. What are people cold?
What's the
problem? Is that the problem
Yeah,
that I'm solving?
what's the problem?
Are they not happy with the thread count? Am I helping that? And it's really none of those things. It's when people, and this is specific to print on demand, obviously, but it's also true with any product, people aren't actually buying the product. What they're buying is the end state that they end up in after they buy it. So for taking t-shirts, for example, they're not actually buying the thread count or if it's Gildan 64,000 or something. What they're actually buying is what's the design, what's the graphic, what's the typography on it. And they're not even buying that. What they're actually buying is how it's going to make them feel when they put it on. They're buying the reaction that they're going to get from their friends and family. They're buying the connection that they feel when they put it on with people that are in the same niche as them. So for years, when I sat down to like write emails or any ad copy, it was like, felt like I was, you know, trying to get blood from a stone or whatever the saying is. And it just wasn't happening. And until I finally shifted, Simon Sinek has a great TED talk on this called Start With Why. It's connect with what people are actually buying and get people to buy from you because of who you are and what you do. And then you just so happen to sell t-shirts as a medium for putting that out into the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the product is just the vehicle at the end of the day for the emotion, right? You're selling that emotion, you're selling the emotional heartstrings that people want to identify with somebody. They want to be either, feeling a certain way, or they want to, if you're giving something to somebody, you want them to feel a certain way at the end of the day when they have that on. And it's not the shirt, it's literally the design. And I think that's the problem that I think you're solving for that customer who's buying something, in my case, usually as gifts for other people, right? You're providing them a means to give somebody something thoughtful and meaningful that they're going to love and cherish, regardless of price and cost. And
I have a question.
of the thing it's printed on.
Jay, for what's an example, Chris, Jay, everyone, I guess, that talked about that. What's an example of this? For example, let's say that I'm in the music niche, right? And I sell shirts. Like, sounds like we're trying to sell a feeling. If we're selling shirts, we're not trying to sell the thread counts. We're not trying to sell the size variations and the shirt colors, and we're not selling those things.
We have someone here.
Yeah. What's an example of that?
We did this a lot. I think yoga is one of the easiest examples.
Okay.
When we were running Yoga Stay in the beginning, like the first 6 months, it was just about the thread count and stuff like that, until we realized we listened to our customers, quoting you, Cody, and heard that the feedback that we were getting about why people like the shirts, like this can either be reviews or CS tickets or comments. None of it was about like the quality of the shirt. People be happy that the print wasn't like ruined, but the majority of it came down to their mindset, their the emotional connection they had with it. And so what we started doing is instead of our emails being a new high thread count shirts, it was, here's your daily reminder to just breathe. Here's inspiration or reminder that you matter too. Here's one of our top selling sayings was, be stronger than the storm. And once we shifted away from just what graphics look good and over to like what messages can we put out that's going to resonate with people, one, the emails just start writing themselves if you're like building a brand, but two, the design inspiration becomes much more fluid because we're no longer just looking for graphics and then trying to slap together typography on it. It's starting with that concept, with that feeling that we want people to have when they put it on, and then whatever graphics or typography resonates with that, again, it almost starts writing itself. And it takes practice. It's not like anybody listening to this should just drop your current research and design approach. Like, if it's working, keep doing it. This is just, it took me years to grow into this. But even now, when I launch a new brand, I start with just as many designs as possible, put it out there to the market, see what resonates with people, but just keep an eye on, the horizon of where it can grow into, but don't try to dictate that to people. Try to let them tell you. And that takes time.
What I would recommend there too, for anyone starting their new brand or starting to think this way, is it's really helpful to, this is called ICP, your ideal customer profile. Like, think about your ideal customer and literally make a document on them and name him or her, name them something. It could be Sally, it could be Jay, it could be Tom, Thomas, like Curious Tom, like whatever it is, or fishing, whatever. But the point is, like, you want to name them something and actually start thinking, putting yourselves in their shoes. And then what do they care about? What are their fears? What are their anxieties? What are they totally afraid of? And document all those things. What are some common phrases they use? If you do this, it's like a one-time thing. You could literally go and now you can set up a custom GPT for this nowadays. And you could literally start doing this and start asking for drafting emails. Like in Everbee store, we have Brain set up to where you can literally do this too. But the point is, like, ChatGPT, any of them works. You could put yourselves in the customer's shoes. That's my point. And all this stuff becomes much, much easier.
I have a free ideal customer workbook. Go download it. You know what I mean? You don't have to use it beyond anything to do with me. Use it for whoever you're going to go follow or whatever. But it's important to know who it is you're targeting, right? Like, Cody and I and George were talking about this at one point too, right? Everybody thinks they're in the healthcare niche, like, or health and fitness. Like, no, you're not. That's kind of like the overarching target audience. Then you've got like the niche, which is, maybe somebody doing the yoga, for example. But then you've got very unique ideal customers, right? You've got that Instagram some photo pic of the 20-something who's posting on top of like some peaks at the Grand Canyon or something. Then you've got like the 45-year-old who's trying to maybe rehabilitate or maybe, increase some kind of longevity. And then you've got like a 75-year-old who's partially doing it for a social element, right? Those are all three very unique ideal customers, all within the same niche. So identifying that, to Cody's point, like I even in that booklet, it's like, name the person, give them a hair color. So you have that person literally visualizing that every time you're creating a design for that person, right? And yes, you're going to have, it might seem rigorous, but again, use ChatGPT, create your own. But, it's going to help you define that design, because you're not making a design that all three of those ideal customers are going to buy. And yes, you're going to have multiple ideal customers, right? That's the goal. It's not to have one. So yeah, that's how you get repeat customers too.
I found the book. I'll link it in the chat.
Nice.
Cool.
I hope this is the right thing. Identify and attract your perfect customers.
Nice.
Right?
There we go.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it's been. I think it's over a year old or two now. But I mean, all the principles apply, right? Identifying your ideal customer, their values, ultimately where your brand values are and their customer values, where they overlap. That's the sweet spot, and that's actually literally
Have you guys ever
the last page of the work.
Have you guys ever given advice to like lots of people at the same time? It's like kind of like what we're doing now. It's like really, really challenging, right?
Yeah.
Because some people sell this, and some people sell this. People like are just getting started. Some people are like trying to make their 50th sale per day. It's very challenging without a question. And the ICP, like that document that Jay is mentioning, for example, it like makes you like think about that one person, that one situation, it's really easy to speak to one person. It's very difficult to speak and actually penetrate in someone's hearts, like at a mass level. It's much more difficult. So definitely would recommend.
I got to throw Cody a bone here too, man. Your Everbee store inside. So it's a beautiful thing. It can pull in all your listings from wherever you're selling online. Let's say Etsy for all intents and purposes right now. But it also has like the brain function in there that will help identify your ideal customers for you based on your current listings that are already being imported. It's absolutely mind-blowing too. So I just wanted to, make sure that people know that what you've built, Cody, is like taking a lot of the legwork out for everybody. And I think, I don't want to see you sell yourself short there. It's huge. It's amazing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's cool thing about it is like we're not even close to where the vision is. So it's like we're like barely even scratching the surface when it comes to like using AI and stuff. There's gonna be really cool. I see like there's a future where there's like multi $50 to $100 million ARR, 100 million revenue companies built by like one person with AI. Like especially with print on demand and so many things. And by the way, like very little inventory. Like this is the future that's really possible nowadays. So really, really cool. And it's just going to get easier. Like think about AI, think of it as not only it understands your customers, but also understands your sales and your revenue, and also understands your email open rates and also your click-through rates. Oh, it also understands like who your demographics are of your customers. So that way it sends like, it understands the holidays coming up. Oh, Halloween's coming up. Oh, perfect. Trigger this. Oh, perfect. Mother's Day's coming up. Oh, perfect. Here's your catalog, which AI already knows, by the way. And last Mother's Day, these 4 listings hit the hardest. So like we're going to just implement already into the automation flow. And so like with Everbee email, with AI, with Everbee store, like this stuff is really going to come together in the next, for the future. It's gonna be really, really cool for creators, I think.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And the more data you feed AI, the smarter it gets. So like as time goes, it just keeps getting better and better. So that's awesome.
Except with ChatGPT, the longer my chats keep going, the worse they get.
In theory, that's the theory. It's supposed to get better.
Usually starting a new chat helps, if anyone knows that issue. Stephanie, there's no link in the chat. The reason is because we're streaming on multiple channels. So if I post a link, it just goes to my channel, I think. I don't know how to post it across all of them.
Dang it.
But it's if you type in Jay's Way Works free ebook, it should come up on Google.
Very cool.
Oh, we also had some questions earlier we hadn't covered yet. This one's an interesting one. Which AI is the best for generating designs right now? I feel like ChatGPT has huge potential if there is a bulk generation option.
Ideogram has a bulk generation option. So, Mystic is getting better, but go ahead.
Technically, you can also generate in bulk with ChatGPT.
We can. I haven't.
In Dream AI, you can.
Oh, okay.
My designs, but it's not.
Oh, that's right.
It's not cheap. It's a lot faster though.
Yeah.
But yeah, if ChatGPT was faster inside of the actual ChatGPT app, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty slow, and I feel like it's gotten slower actually over time. But
I would say that Mystic POD we've been using because we're kind of building with Everbee Store. We're building like some like test brands and stuff like that we're doing over here, and we've been using Mystic to do that thing. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but like Mystic's been awesome for what we're using it for.
Yeah, the thing I love about Mystic and what Chris is doing is that he knows the audience. Like he knows what to do for print on demand, where the other ones are can be used for print on demand, but Mystic specifically is, and so it's just going to get better and better and better over time. And like it's already in the top 3, in my opinion, of the
Since
AI
the
apps
update.
out right now, and it's super new. It's like just came out of beta and just did the second update. So.
Yeah, with the new update, I think it's really, really good for sure.
Same. Yeah, same. We were using. Sorry, Phil, go ahead.
No, carry on.
We were using Playground before Mystic's last update, and we were playing around with that. And then Mystic's update came out, and we switched right back over like to that, and it's been much, much easier for us. No shade thrown to Playground. It's just more like Mystic's just been much, much easier for our use case, which is building designs at scale.
Yeah.
I think what's important to note is like most of these tools we're talking about, they cannot create great designs for POD. They all have their pros and cons, but you need to find one that works good for your style as well. Like maybe you have a certain aesthetic you're after, but Playground can't really get it right, or Ideogram can't get it right because they all look kind of different. Mystic looks quite similar to ChatGPT because they're probably using that to generate images. So it depends on what you want to get out of the AI. But in terms of what I think some of the best ones are right now, Mystic since the update, ChatGPT is what I use a lot right now. And Ideogram, I think, is still a great option as well. But yeah, even like Playground is still a great option. There's so many good tools. And I've been wanting to make a video for ages, doing like a top 10 countdown, which I know would take ages to make, and I feel like by the time I upload it, it will already be outdated. So it's so tough with these AI tools.
I did do that. I did the challenge where I did the bracket challenge, and you were right on. Those were the top 4 that I had on there. Was the Ideogram, Playground, Mystic, and ChatGPT were the top 4. So I don't know if that order is still the same anymore with all the updates, but yeah, they're constantly updating and getting better and better. So
let us know in the chat what you're using at the moment, like which AI tools you go to. I know some people use multiple, but I'd be curious to hear.
And Chris has some really cool things coming for, I don't know if I should say, I don't know what they are, but I know he's working on a bunch of updates. So
you do know what they are? What do you mean? We looked at them.
Yeah, Chris, I can't get in trouble with Chris too. They're going to cancel me. No, that they're cool.
Yeah,
really cool.
Juna's got a history of getting in trouble with people behind the scenes. I'm joking.
Releasing before it needs to be released. Yikes.
Do you mind if I share a little bit about Brain, Phil, in case anyone was wondering?
That's really cool.
We like AI here. It's a very AI-friendly channel. Sure.
So I'll just give you guys a quick example of something that we're building. And actually, it's already in production. It's live, but it's going to continue to get better. So, just give you guys some context of what this site is. This is a site that we've been building internally. And it's called Mood Plan. And all of it, don't worry about the product and the brand. The point is this is the site. And essentially, it's a digital product site and goal setting worksheet, stepwise goal tracker, yada, yada, right? Different products. And back to this. So here is the Brain, and kind of giving you guys some context. Now that you have the site in mind, the brand book was already built with AI. And this is brand info, target audience, your ICP, customer personas, your identity, your voice, your strategy, growth recommendations, all this stuff. And the idea is this is the central part of your brain for your brand. What your name is. It's important, like your life, your vibe, your planner, your mission, your vision, like target audience, and then also like your ICPs. This is what Jay was talking about: young professionals, moms and dads, writers and creatives, yada yada. Personas like Alex the student, Samantha the young professional, Mary the busy mom, and so on. And the cool thing about, I think, is that this thing is a living document. This isn't something that's Everbee created for you just one time. Like, you can go in here and literally change things. So if you're like, oh, I don't want it to be Jason, I always visualize like a Timothy, right? And you just
what's wrong with Jason? I was going to say thanks for featuring me. But yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, save this thing, right? And now that the brand is now updated, it's upgraded. And so you can be chatting with your brain. You can say, like, based on my ICP, draft me a welcome series email.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's cool. Or anything, right?
Exactly. It literally can be anything. And here we go.
That's cool.
Nice.
How much of the thing on the left did you have to fill out? Did you come up with the creative and the growth seeker and the brand identity, or did
Zero?
Really?
Zero. Whoa. We've trained the AI to do the thinking for you, do the initial thinking for you. So it does like 98% of all of your brand building for you. Now you can go and tweak it now if you want, of course, right? Like, change it. Like, I don't want Mood Plan as my brand name. It's like, I changed it to like whatever.
Yeah.
You could change it. You could also say like,
so it's giving you a starting point, and then if that doesn't match, then you change it to match what it is, right?
Exactly.
Does it base it on anything like your existing products, or?
Yeah, the listings.
Your listings. That makes sense.
Yeah, the listings, or if you didn't have listings already, then it builds it based on your prompt, your initial prompt. So it actually does like research for you based on, hey, if I sell fishing shirts, like, it starts to make assumptions that are pretty detailed, good assumptions about, okay, your ICP is probably like people, fishing enthusiasts, for example, that like talking about fishing, and like they want to like spend free time outside. They probably want to show their kids how to fish, like all this other stuff.
So this, to go back to the question from before, this could help you with niche research as well then, right? Because you already have your ICP and all that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
And also like can be like founders, brands are extension of us, right? So you can put in like about me, for example, like my name is Cody. I have 3 kids, wife, et cetera, and now it understands me now too. I could put more stuff in here, and then now I can say like integrate or make it more personal.
Right, the emails and whatever.
Exactly. Then it can start like making it more personal, because that's an important piece. And then, so there's a lot here, but that's essentially just like the starting point.
That's crazy. That's really powerful, man.
The idea is that it goes from, this is the brand book. The idea is that you can upload, like, you can make this thing smarter. You can say like, you could drop your corporate documents in here, right? Now it understands your LLC structure. It understands like your partners. If you have partners in here, it understands that. You can start like chatting with it as if like, hey, what should I do with the equity split of my company? I know it's not relevant for like our audience necessarily today, but you can start making some like really good decisions with very detailed context about your business and in the stage that it's in.
Could you use it as let's say you found t-shirts, let's say you went to Target and love these specific t-shirts, you take pictures, can you throw that in and say, this is kind of my brainstorm book or whatever?
That's a really good idea. Let's try it. I haven't used that use case. But let's
like you could, almost like you could drop in like 10 screenshots of stuff you've seen and say, how could I make these designs work for my brand or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like just a shirt screenshot that I have right
but
now.
I can see this being really powerful, because you can like store it. Like, I have so many on my phone that it could just store it on the brain and so be like, I like this and this and this.
Okay, so I just found this one shirt listing. You guys can't probably see it, but I just dropped this thing. It was just literally just in my files.
Okay.
And it looks like it's a president. I can't really read the text.
Okay.
But what kind of question did you want to ask, Juna?
Oh, I was just being hypothetical, but like Philip was saying, maybe make
Like
come up with some other. Yeah.
But how could I make a product similar to this for my own brand? Because you often find ideas that don't really fit your niche, right? But
you like the style, but you don't. Yeah, it didn't match the niche.
I haven't used this use case, so we'll see if it breaks it. But
wow, so smart.
So there it is, the insights.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't quite as good here. Yeah, we can work on it.
It's going to learn over time, is what.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
I'm expecting a better response here. More like instead of crap that's due tomorrow, like you should probably give like make me some variations.
Yeah.
Of the quote.
Yeah, I do that all the time on ChatGPT. Come up with 10 quotes for this specific thing. That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of in a loop, but
I like that it can store it like as a book though too, because you don't need to like it will learn over time as you start throwing different things at it.
Totally.
Like, oh, you like these? You like these?
And so we're going to be connecting like Everbee store data. Actually, like so when you get sales from Everbee store, like this will now understand your top selling listings, your inventory levels, like all the stuff. So
because right now you're limited to, I don't know if you guys know this out there in Etsy land, but you can download all your sales from Etsy, and if you're stuck, for analytics or identifying your ideal customer too, upload that CSV to ChatGPT and have it analyze and do some things for you, right? But Everbee stores, it's pulling that data right from your sales, so you don't even you can totally skip that step. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm imagining you can kind of use that to fuel your email sequence that you have for Everbee email too. Is that kind of the plan?
Absolutely the vision. Yeah. Like the idea is that you shouldn't be an email marketer. Like you're a creator.
Right.
Like, so you should be thinking about creating, you should be thinking about your customers, of course, but like all the tasks that need to happen for this should be done with AI. So that includes like your email marketing, your drafting email sequences, building workflows. This also includes, by the way, like possibly your design process in the future, definitely your research process. Like Everbee research will be connected to this at some point, and Everbee research will understand your niche now and understand your brand and your niche target audience. It also has access to all Everbee's data, research data. 150 million listings across Etsy, and real-time data that we process. And in theory, we're going to have agents like in here like this that isn't just going to be a chat agent. It's going to be like a research agent, and it's going to be like its main job is to find you like the next products that you should be selling for your brand.
Like based on what's already working good for you, based on your brand book, and based on what's out there on on Etsy or other platforms.
Exactly.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, and then eventually connect with apps like Mystic POD, for example, to go and create those designs for you, import them back into, use Printify, talk to it, and then actually list them for you. Like there's no reason why this doesn't happen. And also variations, SKUs, all this stuff, we already have all that built into Everbee store with AI.
Wow.
So like it totally
blow it up, scale it up. Once you find something that works, you can scale it, right? And then that's crazy. Yeah, I was going to ask that. Could you just take all your designs that you made and just throw it in there, and it does all the other, like list it for you and put it on shirts and all that stuff? That sounds like that's what you're doing.
Pretty soon, yeah. It's a step-by-step process, but anyway, it's gonna be cool.
Really great with that brain.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Like me.
Jesus.
Scarecrow.
So anyway, I'll stop sharing.
Thanks for sharing that. That was pretty
it's
cool.
pretty awesome. I actually have to
like
drop off shortly because I owe my editor edits on a video coincidentally for Everbee store. So we got about 5 minutes, but I just wanted to say I got to drop off soon so I don't interrupt later.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining, Jay. You've been here for over an hour, so that's awesome. I want to also talk about actually one other thing that happened on Amazon, which we haven't touched on yet, is the new girls' fit.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Girls fit shirt. I have. I've seen it.
that. What's that?
It's a longer shirt on the girls. You go to standard when you go to standard, you'll see a little checkbox that says girl. And you'll see that it looks like a more fitted, longer shirt for girls. Doesn't come in all the colors that Amazon has for the standard shirt, but cool. I haven't gotten a sale yet. They just released it.
What's that type of shirt?
It almost looks like, I don't know the brand, but I'm assuming it's a Portmanteau, but it almost looks like the Gildan 5000L. But
could be.
It's not as, like, it doesn't have that curve at the bottom, but it's slightly tapered, or even maybe a Gildan 2000.
Do you have it, Philip? Are you going to put it up?
Yeah, I'm just going to bring it up.
But it's similar to that, so it's not fitted.
There you go.
But it's got a slight taper to it.
So we've always had men, women, youth, and now we've got
girls.
It's very long.
Mm-hmm.
So what I don't get is this for teenagers, or what's the idea?
I think so. I
Doesn't
don't know
women and
either.
youth cover this?
Yeah, girls seems definitely teenagers, since we have a women's version of it too. So, but I'm just trying to find some way to understand which shirt it is, because I've always thought that the premium shirt is along the lines of the Vela 3001, somewhere around those lines. But I have no idea which one that is.
Yeah, I wish they gave us more info about that.
Yeah. Women. So is that basically women's fitted shirts? Sorry, girls' fitted shirts.
Either way, I would say if you have best-selling listings that sell to kids or women a lot, probably a good idea to go into the listings and just enable this, not wait for Amazon. They did say in the message that will do it automatically, but maybe jump into some listings and enable that, see if it sells.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I got to do that. That's a good tip.
Definitely.
It's only US though, which is a bit of a shame, because I sell a lot of girls stuff in other markets. But it probably, if I had to guess, it would probably be available in other countries at some point. They usually bring it out in the US first, don't they?
Yeah, it's cool that we're getting a new product. I just wish it was. I guess that could be cool too. Apparel's always good.
Just a new size, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would be? And I'm curious about the chat as well. What would be the first product you would want Amazon to add next, like an actual new product?
I know people love mugs.
Cool options. Yeah, I feel like
mugs
is a big one for me as well.
Mugs, definitely, for sure.
I would love higher ticket items, but it doesn't mean that they're going to sell, right? Like shower curtains or duvet covers doesn't mean that that's going to sell.
Those big royalties.
Yeah, the big royalties would be cool. What else really sells? We already got tumblers. I'm trying to think on what sells on Etsy that.
Hats would be cool. Posters, yeah. I mean, you wear hats all the time. Hats could do well. I think hats, the existing designs won't really transfer that well. That might be an issue. Stickers,
stickers,
candles.
Cool. Amazon has just so many products that they do themselves that I don't know why they couldn't just make them into POD stuff. But
mugs would be the best in my opinion, though. Mugs for sure.
Yeah,
but the good news is, I mean, we did have a big new product last year with the tumblers, which I don't know how it's going for you guys, but that's become my second best-selling product. If you look at it like this year, just this year's stats, tumblers is the second best. So
wow,
that's a good sign that it's probably doing well for Amazon in general, and
they probably will
I can see them adding more stuff this year. I think coffee mugs are long overdue. I know people argue they're probably more breakable, but there is metal coffee mugs as well, or more or less breakable coffee mugs that I could sell.
Just package it better.
Mugs, 100%.
100% mugs, yeah. Before Q4, let's put it out there.
Yeah.
The only thing though that I want to ask you, Philip, like, how do you feel about the royalties with the tumblers? Because whenever I sell something for that, I just feel that the royalties get so low, and you can't really push it up to at least $4 royalties.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, they are very limited, and that is annoying. It's like
Yeah.
for me, they're all just under $3 because I just listed at the lowest price. So yeah, it's not great, but I mean, still, it does add up quite a bit. And I have like one lottery campaign with some of the tumblers that are regularly selling very low bids. So I don't really spend much money on the ads at all. And I get, most days now, I get 5 to 10 sales just from tumblers.
Wow.
Which
Nice.
obviously, like, when did they come out? Maybe like 8 months ago.
Mhm.
Before that, it was zero. So
True. Better
That's
than
true, yeah.
zero.
I think tumblers are quite underrated, but it just shows like if they brought in a new product like that, again, like coffee mugs, hats, posters, stickers, something that's really popular, proven from other marketplaces,
Mhm.
it could really make a big difference to
True.
our sales.
Yeah, I sold a
Yeah.
tumbler today too.
Oh, yeah.
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 $3. Yay.
What sorts of designs sell for you on tumblers?
I haven't made like specific Tumblr designs. I just took all my t-shirt designs and put it on Tumblr. So
Is there like a pattern? Is it
I don't
maybe
know.
a
I haven't
specific
really.
topic? Like, are they all coffee designs, or all their
That's a good
basic
question.
text
Let me
stuff?
check if I can do some kind of research. I never even thought of looking for that.
I'm gonna look at.
Tumblrs this year that has sold, yes. All time, I guess, doesn't matter. I really got like onesie, twosie. Oh, let's see. State stuff.
Yeah, same for me. States.
Uh-huh.
I don't see it sell a lot of states on shirts, but they work on tumblers for me.
Yeah. Year stuff, like made in 1973, that kind of stuff. Birthday.
Do you sell any like dog dad or like cat dad stuff with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's for me that's sold a bit on tumblers for me at least.
Mhm. And then
Animals
funny
and states.
and funny sayings do well.
What about everyone watching? Have you sold many tumblers? Is it legal to use state names? There's probably a few states that have caused rejections for me in the past, but most of them are fine. I would still always double check trademarks.
Yeah, the only like when it comes to those type of trademarks, because I ran into that issue and had no idea what to even think about that a while ago. But usually, if you have any reference to the University of like Texas or something like that, or the University of New York, because they're the actually the trademark holders of the name. So as long as you're not like referencing that, then you're usually fine. Because people can't, from my understanding, people can't trademark a state, but they can definitely trademark the University of New York. If it just says NYU, or if it just says New York with a reference to the University of New York, you can't use that, if that makes sense.
And a lot of universities are called like Arizona State. So if you put those two together, sometimes you get tagged. So Utah State is another university. Like, it's crazy. So,
but if you want to check that, the easiest thing is just to go to watch the trademark on USPTO, and then just go to current owner's information. And in all those instances that I've at least seen for states, it's always been a university specifically. And as long as you're not like specifically referencing the state, referencing the university, then you're good generally. But just like Philip, I've had like rejections for Texas specifically. So for some reason, Texas doesn't work for me, but 90% or like 95% of the states work.
I forgot which ones got rejected for me.
Me too.
Yeah, I forget and then I do it again. And
me too. I'm like, why don't I have more T-shirts like this? I put it up and like rejected. Like, dang it.
And that's also, I think, a good message to send in the way of like, if you panic about rejections and you get one, like don't overthink it. Unless all of your uploads get rejected all the time, like there can be rejections, and as long as you're not trying to copy Disney with every listing again, rejections do happen. They're a part of the game, and they don't mean you instantly get banned. If majority for uploads are clean, I just noticed, the new background picture in this stream. It kind of looks like me and you, Juna. We are like the Jedi Masters, and you, Andreas, you're like the Padawan or like Anakin trying to join.
Yeah.
You're standing in the middle of the council thing.
Yeah. Waiting the approval here.
Exactly. You are on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of master. that scene.
Yeah.
My goodness.
That's so sad.
That's when my villain arc starts.
Yeah, now you're going to turn into Darth Vader. Damn it.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Right, has anyone got any more questions? We haven't had anything for a while in the chat.
This has been a good talk about the POD and the future of POD. I love how we got that topic today.
I think it's great that we've had some positive news on Amazon. I think people like to think of everything very doomy, gloomy, like, oh, this is the end. But
honestly, like, my opinion, I haven't talked too much about it, but my opinion is maybe a bit contrarian, but I really think like the future on merch and on Etsy is definitely, like, specifically Amazon, but I think the future definitely lies there. So it's like focusing on Amazon will just go up and up and up. And this mainly comes from a podcast that Joe Rogan did with Naval Ravikant, a thinker that I just really, and like an angel investor and a rich dude, but generally just a guy who's really good at framing like abstract questions and making good answers out of them. But he just basically said that once, like later on, people will just go to one website to buy all things, because convenience always wins in the end. And I really think, like, even though it might seem doom and gloomy with all the changes that Amazon did, what they're actually doing, like from my perspective at least, is that they're trying to find new ways to make it better. And they're not trying to hurt us sellers, because we are the ones that are, sorry, they're not trying to hurt us creators. They're just trying to find ways to make it better overall. And that means testing, that means experimenting. And I think the future for Amazon and Etsy is super bright, specifically Amazon. So don't get too bogged down with the no tiers. Once they just set out the systems, they will tear up. Because I'm in tier 4,000. I fill up all my slots now too, and I'm just waiting. But once they figure everything out, I think it will be all set.
That's a good point. And Amazon is very convenient. I think that's a huge pro of Amazon merch that many people forget is we have Amazon Prime products. Like I ordered that EDM glitch T-shirt that I did the video about the other day.
Yeah, that was so cool.
I'm glad it here in like less than 2 days. Like, wow, who can compete with that? It's
even to the UK, huh?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, it's obviously shipped from the UK as well, but
yeah,
still,
that makes sense.
It's so like
convenient, right? It's just super convenient. Yeah,
hard to beat, and they got the trust, and the people go there, and they're already in the mindset of shopping, and like. Yes. Yeah,
and like from my perspective, coming from Sweden, like Sweden is usually like the last place, or like on the one of the few like last places in the EU where people are like comfortable going with new stuff, but people are embracing Amazon really well here too. And I just think that one marketplace that have it all, that has all the trust, is definitely like the later stage of everything, where everything will go. But yeah, so don't be too, we shouldn't be too doomy and gloomy with merch on demand. It will be awesome in the end of it all.
There's always ups and downs. There's been bad news since day one. Like things change. It's just part of the game on any
you just
platform.
Gotta pivot. You got to pivot.
Any platform.
Change.
Yeah, it's not really as much about what happens. It's about how you react to it.
Right? Exactly, 100%. Because again, everything that specifically Cody talked about, I've experimented a lot with Everbee store, and just having that and like experimenting, learning about how everything works, and just adding that as on top of everything just makes you indestructible, like economically, because you know that with like whatever happens with any account, you will still be set.
Yeah.
So
I had Cody on my channel recently, and we talked about the past, present, and future of POD, because I feel like his stuff is definitely the future. But I was talking about the past, where when we joined, at least when I joined Amazon in 2017, the ideas that worked back then don't necessarily work right now, where you could, back in 2017, you just could put whatever you wanted up there and people were making money hand over fist because it was new and you would get tons of sales and you could jump on trends really quick and probably get a sale and all those things. And so it's a little bit different now how to do it, and you can still get sales, but some of those things that you did back in 2017 don't necessarily translate to now. So you got to learn what works now, and then also look towards the future and kind of think like, what will I do there then too? So
yeah, and it just goes back to what Philip said. Like it's not what happens to you; it's only how you react to it that really matters in anything, really.
Yeah, and don't get stuck by, if you're doing things that worked in 2017 and it's not working now, it's not, that should be a sign of like maybe you need to change your tactics a little bit.
Yeah, and it's time to grow in that case.
Yeah, I've had plenty of listings or designs that used to work, but now they don't sell anymore.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't revive them, sometimes you can. It's just how it is. You make changes. I actually had an interesting experience recently on some of my older listings in the UK market. I filtered it by like most sold on Amazon in the UK, and I noticed that tons of them I've not seen on my dashboard for ages.
Yes.
Like the kind of thing that they used to sell, but now it's just dead. So I went into all of those and I just dropped the price to really, really low, and they started popping up again.
Yeah, I saw that video you made. I started doing that too. I haven't seen anything pick up yet, but it's worth it. Why not?
It's worth a shot, yeah. Even if just one or two of those like old ones, they just pop up again, get a few sales, and even if the royalty is low, like they might have not sold for like a year. That's what it was for me. Like some of them hadn't sold in like 9 months or something, and then just giving them that tiny bit of momentum, maybe they turn back into a regular seller, right? So it's worth a shot. And I think especially if you've been on merch for longer, you have so many different listings and sales happening. You kind of you don't recognize that you had designs that used to sell, but they've dropped off. And oftentimes like a tiny price change can make all the difference to get them back up there.
True.
And Amazon is definitely pushing that way because all they're doing is like running sales to make products convert more. So if they don't do it for you, why not test it yourself? Because they're only doing it to regular sellers, right? They don't do it to like super old listings.
I've had sellers that sold really well, but then has kind of died out slowly. They've done that to a lot of mine and just put them on sale. But it resonates so much with me when you say that. It makes me so happy because I do this all the time on Etsy. Because generally, what I've found, the lower price you have, the more sales you do, which increases your rank. And the higher price you have, the more profit you make, but the lower volume you do. But at the end of the day, you make more profit, like wholly, if that makes sense. If you have a higher profit margin, but you will make lower sales. But everything is still determined by rank. So if you just lower the price and have more towards break-even pricing, which is like 13.38 for like a standard T-shirt, then you will still, then you can gain sales and get momentum and get ranked back up on it. Just like Philip says, it works on any platform because it's at the end of the day, it's just the sales that determines the rank itself.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you have to keep it at that low price forever, right? It's just kind of reigniting the fire, and then you can always bring it back up.
Get ranked and get on page one, and then yeah. Someone wrote Prime Day. That's coming up.
When's that?
Ooh. Is that selling? Is that a well-selling day for you guys? Because I haven't really seen
Typically, yeah. It's not the best, but it's one of the better selling days for me.
July 8th.
July 8th, so next month.
All right.
Until July 11th. Yeah, usually it does do a bit better. Not like huge compared to Q4 stuff. But...
but it's a nice bump.
All right. I haven't actually seen that much of a bump myself. I've just noticed that the ad spend definitely gets bumped.
Yeah, it does that too. Yeah.
I had a.
Someone has a question. What's your advice to someone? Well, there's all other options besides Amazon. If we talked
start
about
on Etsy. Probably be the second best opportunity.
It's
You
not
can do
free,
that.
but it's definitely got some traffic. And like if you use Everbee, you can figure out like what things sell there, and
Yeah.
lots of coaches. We got one right here.
Yeah, I mean, like
Etsy.
I've made all my money basically on. I've sold over $1 million there in less than 3 years, and then I've supplemented that because within the same time frame I've done like $240,000 on Amazon merch, but Etsy definitely. Just like Philip said earlier in this call, like all you need to do to test a listing is 20 cents. Whereas if you want to test something on Shopify, you need to build a site. So it's the $29.99 a monthly fee, right? That you have to pay.
Yep.
Plus, like again, when I started, I had no income. I just had a buffer, so that was a lot to me. But you have that, right? And then you have the ad spend towards Facebook ads. And from your, like, coming from your both of your perspectives, how do you feel? Like, how much of a budget do you need to test things out when you are like, if you would think of it from a place? Yeah, exactly. If you think of it from Rashid's place, like how much, if his merch account got terminated, like how much does he need to actually test stuff?
I haven't gotten to the point where I'm getting sales yet because of things, but I've already spent $50 on or more, $100 on ads probably. So
I've spent thousands. It really depends, like how much you know about setting them up properly and how much you want to test. But I think the point that Andreas is trying to make, which I agree with as well, whilst both Etsy and having your own store, they have, a lot of benefits, a lot of pros to them in different ways. Etsy is you're going to be a lot more, or you're going to get a lot more testing out of if you're $100 than you will on Facebook, just by the sheer fact that probably if you're starting out and you're not fully experienced, you will pay something like $1 per click. And that's huge compared to 20 cents per listing, which then for 4 months has the ability to get organic traffic on Etsy. There is no organic traffic on your website. You need probably on average like $1 per click. You can get lower cost per clicks on Facebook ads, but usually that means you need to have really good designs, good ad copy, and that's tough to get right from the beginning. Like it's been tough for me, even though I already have a lot of designs. So the barrier to entry for a website is a lot higher. It has huge pros, like having your own brand, owning your customers, but that doesn't mean that it's easier or necessarily better choice. So it depends on your budget entirely. And if you don't have a lot of budget, Etsy has a ton of organic traffic, and it's going to be easier or cheaper to test new designs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was 100% what I was wanted to get to, because again, it's just so much cheaper and easier to just put the ropes in on Etsy because it doesn't cost you that much to test. Again, I've put up over 10,000 listings on Etsy, so I've spent a lot of money on just listing fees, but it's nowhere in comparison what I would need to pay in Facebook ads if I would need to test every single one of those listings out. So if you have a lot of budget, then then Shopify could be better, but like in some cases, but it still demands more of you because again, you're still like you need to drive traffic, but you also need to make the Shopify side. Apart from that too, you have all the infrastructure from Etsy that's already there. But most importantly, I think that thing that's kind of overlooked a lot of the times is that when you have a Shopify site or any type of site, really, you don't have any brand trust. So what brand basically is someone that like you associate something with your site. So like let's say that you sell funny dad like mugs, and you're a brand new site, then no one knows what your site is about. But if you only sell funny dad gifts or like funny dad mugs, then they know that it's about that. The problem though is that if they don't know that they will get the mug that they see on screen, there's a good likelihood that they will just turn to Amazon or Etsy, a trusted marketplace, because again, it takes to build that brand trust. I mean, Amazon's been there since '94, Etsy since 2005, and you also got to acknowledge that I think Etsy spent like $90 million in like 22 or 2023 just for advertising, like Facebook advertising, and they're advertising your listings because they're making money on their commissions when you make a sale. So they're marketing your listings itself. That's the organic traffic that you get. So I think personally at least, that because again, once you are selling on your own marketplace, you don't have any trust. You can only get those buyers that just see something that looks so funny, is not that costly, so don't lose anything, or much at least, if they don't trust the brand, if you don't, they don't get the thing that they want. But you're basically going for those impromptu buyers that, because you don't have any brand trust. And if to actually make a like trusted brand, in my opinion at least, it will take you probably 10 to 15 years to make a,
wow.
because that, at least that's my opinion. I don't know what you guys feel, but like that's what Amazon and Etsy has been doing, and that's why they are at that place. That's it. It's also why like they've spent so much money on marketing just to let people know about the site and stuff like that. But how do you guys feel about that?
Well, I definitely feel it's going to take some time to, like you said, build your brand and get some people to buy from you and build your email list and all that stuff. Whereas people, when they shop on Etsy, have that trust that whether or not each one is the same, people trust Etsy and feel like it's, you know, a good way to shop there, and people go there to shop and get that traffic and stuff. But yeah, it's going to take time on the Shopify store. It's nice that it's not a marketplace. There's some benefits that, you know, you won't get kicked off of Shopify for whatever reason, but yeah, it's going to take time for sure.
Yeah.
And these are just like discussing different pros and cons. Like
Pros and cons,
saying,
Yeah,
we're not saying one of them sucks. Like Juna and me have been trying to get a Shopify store off the ground,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And we know it's not easy. And at the same time, we've also sold on Etsy. We do like Amazon the most because that's our strongest platform, right? So we are biased in that sense, but we're just trying to give you like a realistic idea of what it's like to start these things. And if you have no budget, and even Etsy's not an option, and your Amazon got terminated, you can still, if like a couple of $100 would make a difference in your life, depending on where you live, you can still try some of the other like secondary or third tier marketplaces like your Redbubble, TeePublic, Display, Spreadshirt, Zazzle. There's a lot of options which they're not going to do nearly as well, most likely, than Etsy or Amazon. But you know, if you live in a country where $100 extra would make a big difference, go for it.
I definitely make more than a couple $100 on those.
You're welcome. And quick one as well. Greetings back to Bulgaria. Thanks a lot for watching.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
It's been great to have you here. And I'm actually going to Bulgaria on
Wow.
Thursday.
All right.
Yes, to meet
For
a friend
fun?
for a week.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got a friend over there, and he's spending the summer near the beach, near the coast. So
wow.
Oh, do you guys want to see what happened?
You're going to post pictures in the community or whatever?
Maybe. Let's see. See what happens.
Take pictures of t-shirts you see in Bulgaria?
Or that, yeah. If I can understand them. If there's English ones. Do you guys want to see what happens when it's hot in England for one day of the year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
People freak out? What happens?
Yeah.
Suntan?
Well, there, you can see it there.
I see it. Wow.
You become a crab.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you realize that you don't have suntan lotion on you because you never need it, and then you're just screwed.
Whoops.
That's basically every British person now after this hot weekend that's just passed.
Painful. Looks painful.
Really similar to Sweden, though. We had the same thing.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where's your sunburn then?
It like I'm half Greek and half Swedish, so it's faded into me. And I've become more brown.
Damn it. What's this? What's your combo apps? Kittle, Pretty Much, Vectorizer.
Oh, interesting. I use a whole bunch. It depends. You don't need a vectorizer if you have Kittle. Kittle does a pretty good job.
Yeah, technically you don't. I think Kittle has the same vectorizer as Vectorizer AI.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've used it.
Research tool for me is Flying Research.
I use Pretty Much just because it's on there, but I've used other research tools before, like Merch Informer and stuff. So.
Yeah, I honestly just use Everbee and base most of my design choices and stuff like that on Etsy. But for me, I mainly use my designs because everything is really in there. Like there's a lot of things to learn. Don't get me wrong about that, but it's everything's really in there. So just making all of the designs and stuff like that in my designs is so powerful because
Yeah.
Philip just touched on that earlier too. But like Ideogram has a type of color palette or like a vibe that's different to Flux, that's different to ChatGPT, and you can just choose whichever model you want and compare them on like just from the just if you make one design here, you can make another design up here, and you can just on the same page just compare them. So
that's something I often forget as well. Like I say, I use Ideogram a lot and ChatGPT,
but you're thinking my designs, right?
Half the time I'm using, I do go to the native ones sometimes. Like ChatGPT is obviously easier to like research and find ideas with. But oftentimes when I'm generating graphics, I just go to Dream AI because I can switch between them and do it all in bulk. So yeah, I often use Dream AI.
I think it's insanely powerful.
That's
like
pretty cool.
I've made so many designs on there.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I like playing around with the different apps. So I do Kittles sometimes. I do ChatGPT with Affinity Designer. Sometimes I use Mystic. Sometimes I use Ideogram. So I'm all over the place.
Juna, do you feel like you get different results if you use Ideogram like version 3 compared to using Ideogram version 3 in Dream AI?
I hardly use Dream AI, so I should use it more. So I can't compare.
Okay. It would be super interesting to see that if that gives you like different, because I haven't really used the native Ideogram. I'm really happy with my designs one, but just to understand if those results differ.
Yeah,
have you tried that, Phil?
Wait, so the question is, does the same prompt look different on Ideogram to Dream AI?
Yeah, exactly.
Using Ideogram? I don't think so. It's literally the API from Ideogram. The only thing that is missing a little bit is maybe that, has anyone noticed in Ideogram they have 2 versions of 3.0? There's like one that says March.
That's right. It does.
And sometimes the March version looks better, and you can't choose the March version in Dream AI. But that's only a little detail. But no, I think it's the same.
Okay. Yeah, I felt bad because the time I did the bracket thing with Dream AI in there as one of the things in the bracket, Ideogram just released their 3.0 and Dream AI didn't have it or something like that. Oh man, this isn't fair, but whatever.
Yeah, it always takes a while to.
Yeah. But now they have it. Now they have all of it updated. So.
Now they even have that custom. I need to make a video about this, but the custom GPT that they had, where you can drop a prompt and it scales it out to like either other phrases or other cities or whatever.
Yeah.
Now they have that built into Dream AI, which is really cool.
That is cool.
Awesome. All in one place.
Scale your stuff.
Yeah. I think it's Dream AI, in my opinion, in terms of the idea behind it, is most similar to Mystic. It just looks totally different and it's less intuitive.
Mystic is just a lot more. It's like the Apple toward like compared to the Android. Like Mystic is a lot simpler to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really thought of like that's why he got rid of the prompts. It's just to make it super simple. Just remix it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you can still put.
I think they're the comparison or the analogy might be better if you do like e-bike versus like a racing bike. Where an e-bike, like most people can jump on an e-bike and cycle up a hill. Like it makes it easier for someone who's not really into cycling to get around. The racing bike, if you get on it, you're going to struggle. Like this is my designs in this case, the racing bike, where you're going to hit some roadblocks because it's not the easiest to use or not the most intuitive. But if you know how to use it, you can go a lot faster, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because the e-bike is kind of heavy and maybe doesn't have as much control than a racing bike has. So they both have their pros and cons. They can both get you from point A to B and give you designs that sell. It's just which one do you want? Do you want like more control and potentially go faster or further? Or do you want to have an easier time getting started because it has a ton of templates and it makes the whole prompting process very easy?
Yeah, I think that's a great analogy because I really feel that too. Again, it took me a while to just learn my designs, but now it could just go so fast to make stuff and create stuff with my designs. As well as with their integration with Merge Titans, since Curtis made both, it just seamlessly, like, you create stuff, you put, and then you upload stuff, and it goes super fast. But it definitely is hard to learn it for sure.
Got more questions over here. I've never heard of T-shirt gang. So, what are you seeing, Philip?
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
No,
So
I haven't heard about that too. T-shirt gang. Don't know about it.
Really like my designs.
Actually,
Still don't understand how the prompts for my pod Mystic.
Is that Mystic instead?
Maybe it's Mystic and it auto-corrected.
Okay.
Well, if it's Mystic, you're either remixing a template or you're typing in fairly simple prompts.
Yep.
Yeah. But if you're unsure though about making prompts, you can just ask ChatGPT to describe an image, and they can just use that prompt in Mystic. You don't have to be like a prompt engineer to get prompts. You can get the prompts through ChatGPT and then put them into Mystic if you're unsure about doing that.
And you could upload a reference thing if you need to too.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, here's a question for you, Andreas.
There you go.
Can you tell us a bit about t-shirt pricing from your Etsy experience? Which works better? Which pricing strategy, especially for what?
SBBB. Yeah. I thought that was like an autocorrect for ABBA. I had no idea. But okay, yeah. So it was the same. It's kind of this, like we talked a little bit about that earlier. But when I list something on Etsy, I do the same thing on Amazon, and it works wonders there too, because everything is just driven by rank, which is just a derivative of sales. So when I list something on Etsy, I list it at a break-even pricing. On Etsy, I want to earn $2 to $4 margin because I want to cover any ad costs, any issues, or anything like that. So you need to earn something because otherwise you're going to the red. So $2 to $4, you need to earn that. And then once something hits 10 or 15 sales or a 50% visibility score on Everbee. So on Everbee, you can just click a listing and click that little Everbee icon. And then there's a visibility score attached to it. I show that in like a lot of videos, but you watch that. If that's 50% or more, or the listing has 10 to 15 sales, then you bump it up to profit pricing. And how I do all of my pricing, both on Amazon,
What's
Amazon or Etsy?
Yeah, that was Amazon and Etsy. Yeah.
Tell us about Amazon.
Yeah. How I do like my pricing on both Amazon and Etsy is that I price really high. So I earn $7 a piece on Amazon, and I earn about $10 to $15 on Etsy.
Wow. Nice.
But it only works if you actually have rank. So you earn $2 to $4 until it sells 10 to 15 sales, or have a 50% visibility score on Everbee on that listing as one of those two variables. And once you do that, you bump it up to profit pricing, and profit pricing is 30 to 40% margin, generally around $10 to $15 in profit.
Do you ever bring it back down, or do you just leave it there forever?
Nope, just like Phil said, this is one thing that I do all the time on Etsy. So when something doesn't sell, I just put it back down to break-even pricing to drive up the rank. And once it hits 10 to 15 sales or a 50% visibility score in Everbee, I just bump it back up.
Oh, okay. 10 to 15 sales after it dropped again. So you would
exactly
keep going to follow that. Okay, that's cool.
Yes.
I spoke to someone recently with the craziest pricing strategy for Amazon merch, and it's
does it work?
Kind of like Andreas' strategy on steroids. Well, I don't know if steroids is the right word, but I know that your strategy is that right, price really low initially, wait for a few sales, and then bump it up. That person told me that they basically do that until a listing has 100 reviews. They have it at zero royalties.
Wow,
that's definitely that on steroids. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, 100 reviews.
That requires a lot of patience.
Yeah, a lot of patience. But I do want to say that this works on Amazon too. So my strategy on Amazon is, since we do a lot of Amazon talk now too on this call, and that's that. Like I list everything at like you earn $0 royalties, and then it has to sell organically 10 times. No, sorry, it has to sell organically 1 time, and then I bump it up to the. Let me just. I totally blanked. I'm pretty tired today. Let me just see here. No, I basically have something. I list all of my items at a $0 royalty. Then it has to sell at least 10 times to drive up the rank. And once it's done that, I put them at a $7 royalty. But it has to sell organically, basically, at least once, and then I put them in an ads campaign after it's sold at least 1 time organically. Because again, the organic stuff is the most powerful thing when it comes to these marketplaces. Because again, the people are literally there with their wallets open, ready to buy if you have the thing that they want.
And low prices is a good way to get organic sales.
Yep.
Right. Since we've come up to 2 hours now, I want to close off with a fun little topic. I've started a poll in my live stream thingy as well.
Okay.
To ask people if they play video games. So feel free to vote on that. We've got 57% so far said yes. So
wow.
Let's talk about your favorite video games. If you play them now or used to play them, feel free to drop them in the chat. I already saw someone say someone plays San Andreas.
Yeah, this is a fun question because I play way too much video games.
You do?
Yeah, you have no idea. I play way too much. I procrastinate because like the Nintendo Switch 2, it really got released, and I haven't done much else than play the Switch 2.
GS.
What do you play on there?
I missed out on Zelda Breath of the Wild, so I just have played Breath of the Wild for the Switch 2 ever since it came out. But before that, I played Expedition 33, if you know about that.
No, I'm pretty out of the gaming world past few years.
Okay.
Expedition 33 is poker. Nice.
Expedition 33 is insanely good. It's really literally feels like art. And that one. So that's a special one. It released recently, and I haven't played a game like that since I was a kid.
Wow.
So
Expedition 33, did you say?
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the main gist of it is that there's a paintress who paints a number, and the people who are that age, they will die. So if you go from like 100 to like 99, and now they're basically at 34, and then when it hits 33, everyone who's 33 is again like this time really old, and they will perish in something called the gommage.
Wow.
It touches it. I don't want to spoil anything because it's about mortality, but it's something really true of an essence of being a human being in there. And I haven't ever felt that way since I played like Final Fantasy IV when I was like really, really young.
So it's like a really good story, basically. Is it like a single player campaign thing?
Yeah. It's really good story, but also the gameplay is really good because it's turn-based. It's kind of like Final Fantasy, but you get that Elden Ring feeling because you have to really time parries and dodges. But the story, I mean, like I haven't felt like a game was an art piece in a long time. Because when you look at art and you can just see an essence of someone or something in there and it touches you, and that the story has that. It touches your very essence, and it like the music is insanely good. And yeah, I can't speak enough. Like there's a reason like it has a Metacritic score, one of the like higher, if not like the highest Metacritic score on Metacritic by users of all time. And
yeah, I'm just looking at it on Google. It says 97% of Google users like the game.
Wow.
There's a reason for it.
Pretty low likelihood. Steam is 10 out of 10. IMDb is 9.7 out of 10.
Yeah. If you look at the Metacritic score, because that's where users actually can like rate themselves. And you have a user score and a critic score. Like in Japan, since this is based on a lot of JRPGs, they
like Rotten Tomatoes for games.
Kind of like that, yeah, exactly. So it's really reliable stuff. But that's where you can see, like, okay, it has an insanely high score.
What's it called?
Like, Expedition 33. But again, I'm not sure. Are you gaming? Like, I'm really passionate about games. I play way too much, especially this year. But are you guys gamers at all?
I used to be. I'm not really anymore. Like,
I'm not
planning t-shirts and uploading YouTube videos kind of turned into my video game. But
yeah, gamify it.
I used to play ton of Call of Duty. I used to upload Call of Duty videos as well to YouTube.
Really?
Before this channel, yeah, a long time ago though. So I was a big COD player, but there's so many good other games. One that I really like.
Which games are like your favorite ones when it comes to single player stuff?
I'm very old, so I played the Ninja Gaiden once a long time ago.
Ooh, that's awesome though.
That was a fun one for me.
What? Say that again.
Ninja Gaiden. It's very old. It's very old. Like it's probably.
But there's the
20
new
20
renditions
years
of
old.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know about
like,
Ninja Gaiden for sure. I haven't played it though, but
It was
I know.
fun. It had a good story too.
Nice.
I've never heard of that one. I liked Star Wars Republic Commando a lot.
Oh,
That was a really good
or
story.
Star Wars. It had to be Star Wars related.
Of course, yeah. That was that's one like single player game that I occasionally still replay just because it's like a fun.
Is that
fun
the
story.
old like the Star Wars Republic?
Old Republic.
Because there's an infamous game that's called that. Would you basically play as a Jedi, right?
That's a different one. Yeah, I know what you mean. In Republic Commando, you play as clones, so you're inside of the Clone Wars, but you're special commando, and you're the head of the commando, and you can direct like your 3 teammates in terms of what they should do, which positions they should cover, and you help. Yeah, you help all sorts of different parts within the Star Wars story. You help kind of flesh them out as this special clone team.
Wait. So Republic Commando. Now that I think about it, this is a really old game, right?
It is. Yeah.
But then, have you played any like recent? Because again, if you're into it, I would so recommend Expedition 33. It's it's a story-based game, but it's so good. It's insanely good.
I just feel like I would never do anything else than sit on my ass. If I play video
That's
games.
been for the last like 1.5 weeks.
I already like if I sit down to do nothing or like eating stuff, I already go to YouTube, which is not the greatest habit. So I also add video games. I think not too good, but no, I mean I do miss it in some respect. I used to sometimes play like strategy games as well, like Age of Empires or basically the Star Wars version of that, which was what was it called? Empire at War.
Oh, I don't know about that. I do know about Age of Empires. I played that when I was a kid.
I feel like everyone knows that. It's like the go-to strategy game. I know Adam Young likes that one as well.
Yeah. But that's awesome. That's awesome.
Huh. Any of you two have played COD before?
I played a little bit, but I was never very good at it. I played Halo before that.
Oh yeah, Halo's pretty fun.
Halo was awesome. Yeah. I played a lot of COD before, like in 2014.
Which one?
With Black Ops 2, I think it was.
Nice.
So I played that one, and then one of the ones that I really loved when I was a kid, like when I was like maybe 14, we played Modern Warfare, like the fourth one, Modern. I think it's just called Modern Warfare, not Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yeah, that one was really good because you had I mean, it made me so pissed when someone had that perk where when someone dies, they drop a grenade.
Oh,
that made me so pissed.
Yeah, know exactly what you mean. Yeah, the Modern Warfare games, they always had those kind of things that would be super annoying. Like Modern Warfare 2 had the noob tube, and they had that perk that will let you essentially refresh the ammunition for your noob tube all the time, so you could just rocket launch people constantly.
Those were great games though, despite that, but it was really annoying, those things.
Yeah,
so cool.
Little exploits. What a surprise. People that like to sit on their PC for work are gaming nerds.
I just made a video honestly about this stuff because I really feel that it's been like that ever since I made like my first YouTube video. It literally just this business thing, this Amazon thing, this YouTube thing, this whatever thing. It just feels like a game, like another type of game.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree. If you can gamify it and make it fun, and you want to get to the next level, it just it definitely helps. So
Yeah, exactly like that.
Games are, games are. They had a good effect on me in the sense that they taught me how to edit, and that's been huge for starting this YouTube channel. Because I would edit
for your
either
videos?
my own clips or other people's clips. I would edit them like to music and stuff like that. And that was
to
so much
music
fun.
even fun.
Yeah, montages.
Mm-hmm.
That was so
That's
much
awesome.
fun. I miss that.
Yeah, for me, it just feels like as long as there's like no major stakes, like you're not in a hole or something like that, like it just feels like, okay, I have this big boss battle that I don't understand. Like, okay, I'm capped at like 5K. Like when I started Etsy in like 2022, I was like capped at 5K revenue, and I can't defeat this boss. But if I go
boss.
yeah, it feels like that. It felt like I was, because I was plateaued at 5K revenue, and I posted like 500 listings a month at this point. So it was like I was trying to, in a game, just grinding away, trying to level up, but I'm just defeating like the smallest monsters, and it doesn't help me at all. But then I just gotta go to this. Like, if you've ever played Pokemon, you gotta go to Professor Oak, and then for me, Professor Oak was Cassie Johnson, and just learn from her.
Need some mentors, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it helps immensely. But if you're just thinking of it that way, makes it so much more fun.
I think there's definitely a gap for that, of like a YouTube channel that just talks in gamer talk, like gamer vocabulary about merch. Like,
really,
this is how you level up. This is how you defeat the next boss.
Did you say there is one, or we should be making one?
I feel like there's a gap for that,
Oh,
because everyone, like every gamer's going to understand you and resonate way
next
better.
video.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
Just change your entire branding to it now.
Amazon
also, I completely forgot about like Pokemon and all that stuff from Nintendo. I used to play a lot of Pokemon and also Mario Kart.
Ooh, the new Mario Kart that just released with Worlds.
Yeah. I don't play it, but I saw all the branding on Target. They just like put everything everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, like I play. Me and my girlfriend, we play a lot of games, and playing that together, it pisses you off like Mario Kart should when you lose, but it's so fun. It's so much fun to play. Like, you don't get serious about it, but it's just not like you do with the card and stuff like that, because that feels really competitive. But this is like competitive in a like really family friendly way.
That's cool. I like that.
Is there a Rainbow Road?
Yes, and this Rainbow Road has one section that just gives you goosebumps because it's so well made. Like the levels are less compared to older ones, so there's less to choose from. But the levels are so well made. They're so well crafted. Because like you go from one part to another part, and it doesn't like, it's not like sorry, I have someone going at the door. One second.
That's bad.
I think if anybody should make a gamer one, I think Andres has the most
information. He's in it.
Yeah,
he's still living it. Yeah.
I was thinking about actually making a video about like how to gamify print on demand, but might not be as good as if Andreas did it.
Well, if you already have the idea, why not?
I have a broad idea. I don't have all the little parts
laid out.
Yeah,
you have too many ideas.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Which one do we pick today? Yeah. It's fun though.
Yeah. I have so many shirts that I want to design, but I never get around to.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I know.
Yeah, I think we're going to end it.
We got to end it. Andreas is going to come back and it's going to be done.
Yeah, it's going to be dark. It'll be like, what the hell happens? Now they don't like me anymore because I talked about games too much.
But, it's been time. Thanks everybody for joining. I don't know how many people are still on, but
70 something. So yes, thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for all the questions and the engagement.
Hopefully
hello. I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, we were just going to end it.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Sorry.
Yeah, we were going to try and go before you're back.
No, it didn't work.
Sneaky.
So yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll be back next month with another
once
stream.
A month. I like this cadence.
Yeah,
1 a month.
And takeaway from the stream: a lot of positive news on the Amazon world,
and Everbee world
and Everbee store world. So we hope it keeps going that way, and we'll be back in July. So have a nice week or rest of your week. We'll see you later.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye. And I need to end it Where is it? There. Bye.
Bye.